Hello, welcome to Patito's Gang. I'm Nenna Jemie. The Nigerian judiciary is meant to serve as a reliable, unbiased authority within our government. Unfortunately, we are still not getting sufficient protection the way that we should from our judiciary. Why is that? Today, the gang discusses this. Let's tune in.
We are back. This is Patito's Gang. Now, the question of institutions, how important they are for development, never stops coming back. Every time there is a major failing, it comes back to us that the role that institutions play in setting boundaries to conduct is so critical for human progress. Who can better play that role? Obviously, everybody has a part in institution building. I mean, institutions evolve. They're not laws. They're not decreed into being. Because you can decree something into being, but people don't leave those things because they are not things that they have accepted. You have essentially change survivors, people who pretend that they have changed but waiting for the thing to disappear. But when institutions evolve, they become settled habits of a community and people behave appropriately. You can therefore anticipate behavior and there's more order to society and more progress. But the judiciary is particularly privileged as a source of institution building. One of the reasons I was such a great admirer of Chief Ganifa was that he tested ideas by litigating, by going to court. Eventually, a body of judgments begin to emerge that set boundaries to conduct. And this is so very important. Even with enterprise, entrepreneurship, one of the best writings on entrepreneurship, give credit to a U.S. Supreme Court judge for why the American economy thrives, because of sets of judgments that came especially from Justice Brandeis. How well does our judiciary play that role? What more can we do to support the judiciary? A dignified institution itself to have the comfort to play a role in our building institutions. Well,
I think, Prof, it's a bit difficult for the judiciary, to really do the kind of thing that you're saying. It's a challenge, and it's doable. But again, the human factor, and even when the individuals don't want to be compromised, they are forced to compromise because the people that are supposed to build these institutions, strengthen the institutions, are the ones destroying the institutions to achieve their personal gain. Example is someone that wants to do something in selfish interest, and the law is against what he wants to do. May go to any length to circumvent the law, and then make sure that that institution is weakened for him to achieve what he wants to achieve.
Yeah, but ultimately, all of society will lose.
We lose.
There might be a short-term personal benefit. So why are the other interested parties not acting enough?
Hopefully things are changing, though very little. Justice Onogen made some pronouncements lately.
Right.
I was amazed at some of the statistics that came out. To you and I, it looks pedestrian. 243 cases settled out of 1,362 or thereabout, about 18%. According to him, that's a marked improvement compared to what has always happened. So of course, I read at the states.
18% is a marked improvement.
It used to be so low.
Some judges have literally hundreds of cases on their desks.
Yeah.
And then the era where you have to write longhand and write cases and what have you. And of course, like you say, Pat, that institution, like every other institution, in our country has gone southwards. A situation whereby we all woke up in 2016, 2017, and we had so many SANs going to appear for a politically exposed person, even though the Chief Justice has cut down that now. That convention should not be more than 5, which is a welcome development, but then we are still not out of the woods yet. So, to answer your question, Pat, all of us must be involved in this. All the institutions should come together to.
There has been significant improvement in areas.
Yeah.
The current Vice President, when he served as Attorney General in Lagos,
Yes.
was at the heart of a major effort that has helped the judiciary regain its dignity. And other states are now looking at what has happened in Lagos. I think he had enormous support from the governor at the time, Senator Bola Tinubu.
Correct.
And then began to showcase what was possible. And others began, because the judiciary really was in pretty bad shape. They were in serving conditions that made it very difficult. Having said that, the nobility of the judiciary is such that people, when they ascend to the judiciary, should feel a sense that, it's about history now. It's not about a career. It's not about, my children.
It's about legacy.
Legacy, absolutely.
Yes.
So we should expect more from the judiciary. Is it not fair to expect more from the judiciary?
I think judiciary in past, especially with the likes of Nikitobi and the others, when they used to give sound judgments, it's a bit different from now, because due to precedents from the Supreme Court, they always rely on those precedents. I feel that judiciary right now, especially the Supreme Court, should be creative in giving decisions. It should not be the same decision. They could be dissenting, because the idea of being a judge is to be the solace, the last resort for the common man.
That's right.
Yeah, so that you should be neutral, hear from both sides.
But I don't think any judge will claim that he or she does not
Hear from both sides based on the facts that are given to you, and using the circumstances with the law to be able to interpret these decisions.
I also feel that we don't have enough hands, in the judiciary. If a judge has hundreds of cases, she has a family to attend to.
Yeah.
She has personal life to live.
True.
And all that. And technology, she's deficient in that area of technology, if at all deployed. So the thing is that to make the judiciary more effective, to use them to build more institutions, if for them to at least strengthen the judiciary themselves, deploy more technology, more people should go to the bench. We
certainly need a lot more judges that are sitting on the bench today. We need quality lawyers also to begin to step to the bench. But there was an announcement not too long ago of trying to bring some outstanding judges directly into the Supreme Court and all of that. I don't know how far they've gone with those kinds of thinking, because Nigeria has had a history of extraordinary judges. People talk about people like Justice Kayode Shaw, Chukwudifo Oputa, so many of these outstanding jurists whose judgments have, literally just become, perhaps, maybe we should find a way of celebrating outstanding judges so that there's an encouragement, there's a motivation for people to want to leave the kinds of legacies that some of those justices.
But another issue is how independent is the judiciary, because most of the time we rely on the executive or the legislature to be able to empower this judiciary. They rely on them to be able to finance, to be able to approve budget for them, which is very low.
There's the idea
that they are the lowest paid.
The judiciary is a first line charge on the federation account. Really, our budget practice should by now has reached a point where there's a fair enough allocation to the judiciary without interference from the legislature, which is the agency that goes through appropriation.
Prof, one is approving budget for the first line charge. Another thing is how much are they even getting in Naira and Kobo?
Okay, well, how much are they getting?
That's another thing. Can it be really
In whatever they are getting?
Let's see if we can go and get something so that they can get more. Let's go and come back.
The gang notes that lack of incentives, as well as putting individual agendas over common goals, are crippling our judiciary's efficiency. Well, as usual, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's take it to the streets.
When the government is saying that way, it will be reduced. We don't want people that are just striving to get there.
Some people have Godfather that if I do this, I have social parties to back me up. So you see people, they arrest them in station today. They don't need to come there. They say a one call, everything is done, which is not supposed to be so. We should go according to the law and do according to the law. That's what I say. The leader should lead by example.
If they can really implement the law to the fullness for each cases. For example, if any person is being judged and found wanting for corruption or whatever, let them face the music. Let it serve as a deterrent to arrest people. If not, this trend will continue again. That's why you see people are not afraid of committing and getting scot-free. But if you show a very big example, a very big, let's say a big scapegoat, then definitely we will start from there. People will start from there.
Gearing up for the 15th CVL Annual Lecture and International Leadership Symposium.
We need to reorganize our educational system. The educational system must reflect the new realities of the 21st century.
Our young people are much better than we give them credit for. And they want to change their country and they are committed.
The new tribe of Nigerians is necessary. It is that new tribe of Nigerians that I think we all should belong. That tribe that doesn't know the north or south or the west, or doesn't even know religion. Just the Nigerian, the great Nigerian.
Join the Center for Values and Leadership on February 6th, 2018 as we discuss the theme Leadership and Performance in Africa, the challenge of the continent's economic competitiveness. For sponsorship and advert placements, contact Modestus +234 80 3474 6919, muolu@cvl.com.ng, James +234 8146 286645, jebube@cvl.com.ng. To register, log on to www.cvl.com.ng.
We've gone to empower ourselves to empower the judges, right?
Yes. Empower the judges and then have the right attitude. But I always have this view about anything in life. You could complain about budget, you could complain about resources and what have you, but you begin to look inward and start first. What is the attitude? Even within the bench, how we approach the courts, how we make unnecessary injunctions, how we make life so difficult for judges. How is the level of prosecution? How diligent is the kind of prosecution that you're making allusion to during the time of Gani Fawehinmi, who will go in front of any demagogue of a judge and go to try and prove the rights of the citizenry? We are not getting that, like I said. Little steps here is coming. No, I was impressed.
This is very important, Aki.
I was impressed with the Privileges Committee for the first time when they turned down an SAN, granting an SAN on a lawyer on account of the fact that his conduct was most unbecoming. We begin to make examples of that and we'll get somewhere.
Aki, let's you and I, same school, same law school, you graduate, you private practice or join a corporation. I go to the bench, work with the government and from magistrate and all that. You come in with your big car, big house and all that, and there's nothing to show for me. And we belong to the same village meeting. You come and make promises and all that. But these things count.
But
and
you know,
go,
in the past,
yeah.
the judiciary was usually a place that the most successful lawyers went to. After they've had a successful practice. Someone like Uputa was such a successful lawyer in practice. But it was the ultimate in fulfillment to aspire to the bench. And I think that the tradition of people just basically wanting a job, I mean, there's nothing wrong with a career that is bench side, but that old tradition of the best, successful lawyers becoming, I think, enhances the judiciary significantly. But again, to be fair, you know, Aki, you're talking about, I've had occasion to be with judges a few times in recent times, and I think sometimes we're too hard on them. I spoke at the Bar Week in Warri a couple of months ago, and not too long ago, in fact, at a training that judges had at the National Judicial Institute. I think that there is need for us to be more supportive of judges, but also hold them to very high standards and accountability, because so much rides on their back. And if we don't, you know, give them that both deference, given the hard life they have to live. It's not easy to be a judge, by the way, because you know, it's a very lonely life. And so acknowledge them, but insist that, you know, they have a role. Activist judges have left very strong places in history. Not just being an active for the sake of being active. My feeling also is that we need more specialization in the judiciary. Judges that specialize in business, trade, enterprise kinds of areas need training that, you know, perhaps a judge that's dealing with basic criminal justice issues may not need. So I think that intensifying
I
the
think
development.
we are already moving towards that direction right now, because right now we are evolving to the area of arbitration and mediation. So there are mediation judges, the arbitration judges, there are fast track courts to make the process easier, even in the criminal justice system. The ACJ has made it, that's the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015, has made it possible for those awaiting trial to be prosecuted around a period of time. But I don't know how implementable that is. But we are already moving towards the area of specialization, especially in the judiciary. Yeah, so I believe that more training, we are evolving, and as we continue, we'll keep evolving.
Yes, specialization when the economy can support that.
Yeah.
You see people in the, you know, professionals. This is not the best of times for professionals, even lawyers. You know, you hear them cry, unless you are invest. Some people are jumping from their area of specialization to another seeming area that seems to be juicy, where they can put food on the table.
To be fair, part of what I know some private institutions are doing, talking about, if you don't mind me mentioning that, Lagos Business School, is to begin to enhance the capacity and capability of judges in the new digital age. That was done 2 years ago. There's a plan to roll it out countrywide. What does this do? Gives good confidence to our judges, and the kind of feedback that we got was that, well, you did it well in Lagos, yes, we could just spread it across to enhance this dignity. The CSR, okay, I'm calling for other corporates to come on board, and so that we can help our judges.
Yes. Because all of society profits from the judiciary being really strong, and I can tell you that many investors don't come to Nigeria because they are not sure they will get justice out of the system. I mean, about 15 or so years ago, active as an academic, lots of potential investors in Nigeria kind of stopped by to ask my opinion or whatever. And I found that a significant percentage of them ultimately decided not to invest in Nigeria because they said, look, if I have a case with somebody in Nigeria, the person who is wrong is the first to run to court. And they know that once they get to court, they've tied me up for 30 years.
Justice, yes.
But I think that's where arbitration comes in.
Yeah.
Because with arbitration, a case that's supposed to last up to 20 years can stay like 6 months.
Yeah.
And then you see that
depending on the parties.
Yeah, the dispute is resolved.
Yeah.
The arbitral laws has processes, has
Yes.
timelines, durations that you follow,
Yeah.
and you must make sure that disputes are resolved effectively during that period, and that actually saves time and saves the parties.
Yeah, I think the multi-door courthouse in Lagos proved to be a very useful experiment, and I think that
It's gone to your state.
building on that, yes, and it's moving further because ensuring that people can see the boundaries, know that they will get justice, is so important for all aspects of our life, the business and all of that. There's been an idea of strengthening resources available to the judiciary by saying, look, there's a cost to everything. So if, for example, in corruption cases, you recovered $1 billion or naira from somebody, the judiciary should keep 10% of what has come. But there are others who have said that doing that while in a way it improves the financing of the judiciary, but it could also be an incentive for them to
begin to
ganache a lot of people, so that
No, but I believe that if that is done, we can take the risk, and we don't know how it's going to pan out if we don't try. So it is better that it's okay, a percentage of that goes to judiciary to make their lives comfortable. Because a hungry man, you're not thinking right. For a judge, it's a matter of between you and God. Your wisdom and God's wisdom combined together to make a sound judgment.
Okay, we're going to go to think right, because if we continue at this rate, time will not think right with us, and we'll be in trouble.
Yeah.
So, well, let's have it for the judges and for the judicial system. Let's get it done better in the interest of the common good of all.
In closing, this year, we've seen a bit of improvement in our judiciary, such as an increase in the number of concluded cases, but we still have a long way to go. Well, that's all that we have time for today. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you found today's episode to be informative and enlightening. Join the conversation. Be sure to follow us on all our social media pages displayed right there on your screen. I am Nenna Jemie, and until next time, take care and be well.